In a groundbreaking development, China and Brazil are poised to transform the global trade landscape by conducting commerce using their own currencies, bypassing the US dollar altogether. This move underscores a growing trend among nations seeking to redefine economic dynamics and assert greater independence in global trade. Meanwhile, the automobile industry finds itself at the heart of another geopolitical battle. The United States and Europe have recently targeted China, accusing it of unfairly subsidizing its electric vehicle, EV, industry. These accusations reflect deeper anxieties about China's growing influence in key sectors of the global economy. For decades, certain products symbolized their nations of origin: Swiss chocolate, Italian fashion, French wine, and German cars. Among these, European cars, particularly those from Germany, stood as paragons of automotive excellence. However, the European car industry now faces an alarming decline. This predicament emerged starkly after Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's recent four-day visit to China. By the end of his trip, Sanchez had called on the European Union, EU, to reconsider its trade tariffs on Chinese EVs. This unexpected plea highlights the ironies of global politics, where nations often simultaneously cast China as both an indispensable ally and a formidable rival. China's dual image, hero and villain in the global trade arena, raises pressing questions. Why do countries continue to engage with China, even as they voice concerns over its dominance, ambitions, and unpredictability? Is China simply unavoidable, or is there a calculated strategy at play? And what does this paradox reveal about the global economy, where even distrust fails to prevent partnerships with Beijing? Let's delve deeper to uncover the answers. Trust, the myth of global trade. In the realm of international trade, trust is a myth. Nations do not forge economic alliances based on mutual faith, but rather on necessity. Deals are driven by pragmatic considerations: who can deliver the fastest, the cheapest, or the most efficiently. This is the unsentimental reality of geopolitics. Kishore Mahbubani, a seasoned diplomat, eloquently articulated this principle. Countries have no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only interests. Whether or not a country trusts China is irrelevant. What matters is what China can offer. Consider Brazil, which recently exported $1 billion worth of goods to China in under 60 hours. This astonishing speed underscores economic urgency and mutual benefit. Brazil did not pause to ponder China's trustworthiness. It saw an opportunity for booming revenues, job creation, and industrial stability. Brazil is not an outlier. European nations frequently criticize China's human rights record, but remain heavily dependent on Chinese goods and manufacturing capabilities. Similarly, many African nations embrace Chinese infrastructure projects despite the strings attached, recognizing that these projects drive economic growth and development. This is not hypocrisy, but survival. When livelihoods and economies are at stake, trust becomes a secondary concern. The historical context of pragmatic alliances. This phenomenon is not new. Throughout history, nations have formed alliances with rivals and adversaries out of necessity. The real question isn't why countries trade with China despite distrust, but rather why China consistently emerges as the partner of choice. To answer this, we need to examine what sets China apart. Imagine a world without Chinese goods. No smartphones, no affordable clothing, no easily accessible machinery. Such a scenario seems unimaginable because China is deeply embedded in global supply chains. From electronics to everyday household items, China's influence is omnipresent. A quick survey of common possessions, from kitchen appliances to footwear, reveals the ubiquitous label, "Made in China." This dominance is not coincidental, but the result of years of strategic investment and unparalleled efficiency. China's competitive edge. China's status as the world's factory is rooted in its unmatched production capabilities. The country excels at manufacturing goods faster and cheaper than anyone else, from children's toys to high-tech semiconductors and medical equipment. It's not just about quantity, but also precision. Need 10,000 units of a product delivered overnight? China can meet the demand without inflating costs. Another key factor is China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. This ambitious project has reshaped global trade by investing billions in infrastructure across Asia, Africa, and Europe. Ports in Pakistan, railways in Kenya, and highways in Central Asia bear the hallmark of Chinese engineering and financial backing. These are not merely trade routes but lifelines for nations seeking to boost their economies. The BRI exemplifies China's vision of creating a connected world where its influence is indispensable. The universal appeal of Chinese trade. What solidifies China's role as a global trade leader is its adaptability. Whether catering to small island nations in need of affordable solar panels or supplying advanced components to German automakers, China's offerings appeal to countries across the spectrum. This universality makes it an indispensable partner, even for nations wary of its dominance. Yet this dominance breeds suspicion. Critics argue that China's economic clout fosters dependency, giving it leverage over its partners. Despite these concerns, nations keep returning to China. Why? Because the benefits of working with China often outweigh the risks. For most countries, turning down a lucrative deal that could revolutionize their economies is simply not an option. Huawei, a case study in pragmatism. Consider Huawei, a Chinese tech giant often accused of posing cybersecurity risks. Despite U.S. warnings, countries like Malaysia and South Africa adopted Huawei's 5G technology. Why? Because Huawei offered state-of-the-art infrastructure at a fraction of the cost of its Western competitors. For developing nations eager to leapfrog into the digital age, the decision was a no-brainer. Huawei's story is emblematic of a larger trend. From high-speed rail systems to renewable energy projects, China's investments span a wide array of sectors. These initiatives often come with competitive pricing and rapid execution, making them attractive to countries looking for quick solutions to their developmental challenges. The technology race. The growing dominance of Chinese technology has sparked a fierce global competition. The United States, in particular, has taken measures to maintain its edge in critical technological areas and prevent China from catching up. This technological race has significant implications for global trade, innovation, and geopolitical alignments. Balancing risks and rewards. For many nations, engaging with China involves weighing the risks of dependency against the rewards of economic growth. The reality is that China's efficiency, scale, and adaptability often tip the balance in its favor. Even as countries remain cautious about over-reliance, they find it difficult to resist the opportunities China provides. Conclusion: navigating a complex relationship. The relationship between China and the rest of the world is a complex interplay of necessity, ambition, and strategy. While concerns about dominance and dependency persist, the undeniable benefits of partnering with China ensure its central role in global trade. As nations continue to navigate this intricate dynamic, one thing remains clear. In the world of international commerce, pragmatism often trumps trust. Whether it's Brazil exporting goods at unprecedented speeds, European nations relying on Chinese manufacturing, or African countries embracing infrastructure projects, the global economy's reliance on China shows no signs of waning. As the world evolves, so too will its relationships with China, a partner both indispensable and enigmatic.